Hey everybody, I'm Garrick from Royal Constrictor Designs, and I wasn't really planning on making a video today, but I found a good opportunity to do a little educational video here. A lot of people ask me, I get this question all the time, how do I properly incubate my ball python eggs? So I'm going to go through the process with you. I've showed it on many videos in the past, but I've never had a video dedicated solely to how I set my eggs up. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to find a gravid female, or a female that laid. Whoa, look at that. Here's one. This is a banana female. And she just laid her clutch. Actually, I think she laid it late yesterday. So she's got them in there. Now, when a female is gravid, well, before they're gravid, before ovulation, they tend to wrap around the water bowl. So you'll notice the female will be on the cooler side of her tub most of the time. Once she ovulates, then she'll move over to the warm side. You know, when this tub is in the rack, there's a strip of heat tape going underneath the tub on the back half of the back quarter of the rack. So she'll spend all of her time there, and they crater into the substrate. So the substrate obviously needs to get changed. It's been, you know, in there for a couple of months at least as she's been sitting there. But anyway, she craters down in there to get as close to that heat source as possible. The bottom of the tub is the warmest spot in this tub, so that's where she tries to get down to keep herself warm, to incubate those eggs internally before she lays them. So most females are pretty defensive with their eggs, so you have to be careful about biting. Usually if you go in kind of towards the back, you can see her head is right there. So normally what I'll do is I'll just come in like this, and I try to unhook their tail from the eggs. And I'll just move her right there. Okay, now, so we've got eggs here. That one's infertile. That's referred to as a slug. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good eggs. So a total of 6 eggs, with 1 being infertile. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna gently peel the slug off. You have to be very careful when doing this. You don't want to tear into the good egg. So yeah, this is basically feels like a rubber ball for the most part. So that will just go in the garbage. There's no chance that that's going to hatch. So okay, now we got 5 good eggs here. So these are my incubation containers. These are one of my incubation containers. These are really old. I've probably been using these for 10 years now, maybe even closer to 15 years. These were called Rubbermaid Revelations, I believe. But you can find something similar to this. Just want to really make sure that the lid sits on there pretty tight. These lids are fairly thick, so when they're sitting on there, you know, they don't really let a lot of air escape around the lid. A lot of the cheaper Rubbermaid and Sterilite containers, you know, the ones you can find at Walmart for $1.99, those generally have pretty flimsy lids, and I noticed that a lot of air escapes from around the edges, and the clutch could dry out inside. So with these, I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so what I do is I'm using perlite today. I use both vermiculite and perlite. The store that I buy mine at in bulk didn't have any vermiculite last time I went to go pick some up, so I'm using perlite instead. So I put roughly, you know, around 1 inch of perlite in the bottom of this tub. And then I fill the water level up to right about at the top. Like if you just go in here just a little bit, there's water. It's completely saturated. So you just want to make sure that this light diffuser, this is, you can buy these in big sheets. I buy mine at Home Depot, and then I just take cutters and I just cut to the size that I need. So this fits in here really nice. So you don't want the diffuser to be able to sink into the perlite to the point where if the eggs are sitting on here, the eggs are going to be touching water. The idea is to have this chamber be close to 100% humidity, but no actual moisture touching the eggs themselves. You don't want the eggs to take in too much moisture and drown the embryo inside. So, and then for ventilation, I just put, this one right here has 3 tiny little holes in this side and in the other side. Now, I've done various variations on this. I have some of these containers where I put one in each of the 4 sides. As long as the airflow is really just a minimum. The eggs don't need a whole lot of oxygen, and you want to make sure that humidity stays in there. If you don't have enough moisture in there, the humidity, and you have a lot of ventilation, the moisture could eventually evaporate and leave the container, which means your eggs are going to dry out. So we'll pick these up. I typically leave the eggs stuck together. You know, sometimes the eggs are loose, but you know, like these are stuck together. As long as they're healthy eggs, it's certainly not a problem to do that. I try to get any debris off the eggs as much as I can. You know, you're never going to get it perfect, but you know, in the wild they incubate with all kinds of dirt and crud on them, so I'm sure that's fine. Okay, so I will just put this clutch in here like this. And now this one, I don't think I need to do anything special with, but I do sometimes take little pieces of light diffuser. Like if this one was completely loose, I would hold this one in place using a small light diffuser. Like I could put it right there, and I can move this so that that's pressed up against there. And that'll hold that egg into place a little bit better, just in case it would become detached. You don't want it rolling. You don't want to ever change the orientation of ball python eggs if like this is up on these eggs and has to stay that way throughout the entire incubation, because the embryos are in a fixed position inside that egg, and the yolk, if you flip them upside down, the yolk's basically gonna collapse on the embryo and possibly kill it. So you just want to make sure that up is up. A lot of people will put like little like a little marker dot on the up, but I mean, I'm not going to even touch these eggs again until the day they hatch, or the day they pip. So that's basically how I set the eggs up. And then I'll just put, so this is my ID card for her. Banana, hatched in 2017. I got it from someone with the initial KT. And then I filled in some of the stuff in advance, but she laid eggs on 4/16/2020. And she laid a total of 6 eggs. So what I do is I put the total number of eggs and then a dash and then the number of slugs, if there are any slugs. Most of them, luckily, don't lay slugs, so it would be, just a 6 there. But 6-1 means that she laid 6 eggs and 1 was a slug. And then that way I can go through and look at all of my females and see if I have any that produce more slugs than others, or if I have any that don't produce as many eggs as others. And that way I know which ones I should probably move out of my breeding colony and put something else in their place. If she laid 3 eggs a year and 1 was a slug every year, well, that would mean I'm only having a good chance to get 2 actual babies per year. It's not probably going to be worth it to breed a banana female and get 2 babies out of it every year. So, and then over here, I put the male that I used to breed her. This is a Super Banana Calico, if you can read my sloppy handwriting. Super Banana Calico, and I think that one also, it's a possible pastel and yellow belly. Problem with the Super Banana is the super part of that kind of washes the overall appearance of the snake out quite a bit, so I'm not 100% sure about yellow belly or pastel in that one, but this clutch may go part way to help tell me that, and I'm going to have several more clutches from him as well, so I'm sure I'll be able to figure out exactly what genetics that male has at the time. So then next year, I'll put the next clutch right there, and I can just keep going down and down, and by the time I hit the bottom here, this female will probably be in someone else's collection, because I tend to upgrade my females fairly often. I just hold stuff back. I hold so many babies back every year that I'm forced to upgrade females. Like I've got, this female's perfectly good. She could breed for 20 years or more. But, why would I have a normal banana female in here if I could have, say, a Super Orange Dream NG banana or something like that to replace her with? So I'm always upgrading my males and my females. But this is definitely enough room for all the clutches she's going to lay while she's here. So then I will put that on back with her tub, and I keep it, so I'll move her back into the spot where she was, and then I put this in this holder and I keep it up like this. And we wait about a week to sometimes up to 2 weeks and let her sit and think that she's incubating the eggs. And then we'll wash the container out, put new substrate in, wash her off really well. We just use warm water and paper towel, wipe her down really good. The tub itself we sanitize, and then we put new bedding in there. And then shortly after doing that, she'll resume feeding. I know we just did one a couple of days ago. I had a female lay. We just cleaned her yesterday, and today I fed her a frozen thawed small rat. So she'll be in good shape and be on track again for breeding next year. Okay, so then I'll just label this clutch, and that's not anything real extravagant. I just put the male and the female, the number of eggs, and the date, and I'll be doing that off camera. And then I put them in my incubator. There's a lot of good incubators out there. I had some custom built. I have one from Habitat Systems, and I have a couple others as well. So this will go in there. It'll incubate for about 58 days at between 88 and 89 degrees. And then the babies will hatch. And who knows, depending on what comes out of there, you might see the babies in an upcoming video in a couple of months from now. All right, well, I think that's all that I have. It's really very, very easy to incubate ball python eggs. The collecting of them is pretty easy. The whole process is pretty simple. It just helps to do it a few times. You know, I've produced many ball pythons over the years, so I can almost do this in my sleep. But if you have any problems with it, just, you know, kind of go through this video a couple times, and you can see some of my other videos as well, where I have some information about egg incubating on there. So I hope this helps. I know, like I said, I get a lot of people requesting information on how to incubate ball python eggs. I think I didn't really leave anything out here as far as I can tell. So I'll close it out there. And if you want to see what ball pythons I have for sale, I have quite a few yet. So if you do want, and I actually just got done feeding all these today too. I probably have 600 snakes on this half of the room that I fed today. So not a bad morning's work. But anyway, if you want to see what I have available, make sure to check out my website, royalconstrictordesigns.com. And I will be back hopefully within the next week or two, showing off some more of my ball pythons here. And hopefully I'll even have some babies hatching then. I'm not positive if I'll have any hatch in the next couple of weeks, but I've got maybe, I think this was clutch number 17 or 18 for the year so far. So they're coming. I know I counted, I think I've got probably about 70 gravid females right now, maybe even a little bit more. So babies are coming. So anyway, stay tuned for that. And I hope you have some luck with your breeding season this year. And I will be back soon.